Alright, let me tell y'all about my dream I had the other night. It was a wild dream. In this dream, I was in like a dance hall type setting. It was like half of it was like looked like a dance hall, and the other half of it looked like where you can sit down and eat, probably kind of like a bar type thing. Like you seen a bunch of benches where people were sitting around eating, not even eating though. It was like, but it was nothing but dudes in the dance hall area. It was like a bunch of dudes out there, and like all of them was jacked up like on testosterone, just jumping around. You would think they was dancing, but they was just jumping around, like not fighting, but just jumping around, jacked up on testosterone as if they was having a good time, right? Nothing but dudes in there. And everybody was kind of like in uniforms. But me, I'm walking through the crowd, right? I'm on the phone with my girl, we getting into it, and it's like we get into it. She said I'm tripping and all this stuff, right? And we going back and forth. And in this reality, I promise you, like, nobody would have been able to be in this room because all these dudes was jacked up on testosterone. But I'm like literally walking through the crowd like it's nothing, just arguing on the phone, basically going back and forth on the phone. Then I noticed as I'm walking through the dance hall, like all these dudes running around me, jacked up, jumping around, bumping into each other, all this stuff. I get out the phone, I'm walking over to go sit down. I see a dude, he's sitting there studying. Like none of this stuff is going on. And in the midst of all this, I actually see a police officer. I see an officer in there, he walking around, he looked me dead in my eyes, like, and he didn't, I mean, like it was nothing. It wasn't nothing, he just looked at me and kept looking around, like he was kind of calm about everything that was going on, like this was normal behavior, right? So then the dude sitting down, he was like sitting on there like he was studying or something, reading a book or something like that, and he was calm. And this dream, it kind of tripped me out because I thought about it. After I woke up, I was thinking like, man, all these dudes jacked up on testosterone, I wasn't really worried about them because I knew that mentally they just wasn't there. They wasn't on my level mentally. And even though I was getting to it on the phone with my girl and everything, it was like, it didn't mean nothing to me that they was jumping around all hyped on testosterone. It almost came off like they was primitive in their mind. Like they had so much testosterone that I just knew that mentally they just wasn't there and I had nothing to worry about because they was busy doing their own thing, right? So it had me thinking about like reality and in our reality, when you see a lot of dudes that's like jacked up on testosterone or like they work out a lot of things of that nature, they really don't got that balance with their intelligence. You see, I mean, not everybody, because it is some people who exercise and they very intelligent at the same time, they very balanced. But most of the time you don't see that. You might see somebody who's very intelligent and studies a lot and things of that nature, but they don't really work out like that, you know? So it's like the energy wasn't balanced. It was only balanced in one direction. And mind you, like I said, it was no women in this room. It was nothing but dudes around. You would almost think it was like a frat party or something going on, or like jail, like a boarding school or something like that. You would think something like that, right? So then I jumped right to another dream. In this other dream I was in, I was applying for a job at like a Home Depot or Lowe's or something like that, right? And it was so vivid. The dream, it was so vivid. It was long. Like I remember talking to somebody, doing an interview and everything. They was asking me if I could work the cashier because they wanted to fire the dude that was on the cashier because he had been stealing money, right? So he was like, all right, hold on. So while I'm waiting, I went over there and sat down. And it was a young dude that sat down next to me. And it's crazy because it was so vivid. Like I remember the dude's name. He told me his name was Malachi. And he was a young dude. Like he was probably about 18, little short dude. And I talked to him for a minute. I just remember him standing up, and when he stood up to go walk off, he didn't walk off. He ran off like at full speed almost. Like he looked like he ran off at full speed like it was nothing, but nobody cared. Like nobody looked at him weird, nothing like that. He just ran off. And I realized that he was kind of like, his energies was channeled in the wrong way, but nobody cared like it was a normal thing, you know what I'm saying? So I was realizing that in these dreams, both of these dreams was like two separate alternate realities. Like the version of me that was getting a job at Home Depot, it was like his confidence level was only that. He was barely even confident enough that he was gonna get that job. And then the other dream I was in, it's like my emotional levels was so, even though I was surrounded by dudes jacked up on testosterone, I was all emotional and stuff, going back and forth with a girl on the phone. And then another dude who was sitting over there studying, he was calm. He wasn't jacked up on testosterone, and he wasn't all emotional because he was just focused on his studies, focused on whatever he was over there reading, right? And the police officer, he was walking through there, he was all calm, he was just doing his job. You see what I'm saying? So like, it's like all these energies was mischanneled. It was like misdirected in different ways, from my energy to the people around me energy, and the confidence level that I had in both of these dreams compared to who I am in this base reality of my confidence. It's like I knew that these versions of myself would think that me in this reality was way more confident that they are in their reality. But at the same time, like me in my own reality, I would say that I'm less confident and certain that I actually want to be in this reality. So it's a version of me out there in another reality that's way more confident than I am now. And with that being said, it made me realize that I should be very grateful in the amount of confidence I do have in myself. You know what I'm saying? In my capabilities to now. And it's not the first time I had a dream like this. I also had a dream one time that I was looking for a job. And I think, I don't know if I got the job or not, but I was about to get the job. I remember walking outside to my car, and I was in a raggedy little Corolla. Like, it wasn't raggedy, but it was like a little old Corolla. And I just remember thinking, while I was in a dream, I remember thinking like, I'm about to go home to my kids. It's like, and I just knew I didn't have no money, was trying to get a job, wasn't that confident in myself. And it's just like these dreams have been teaching me something like that. You can be confident in yourself. You know, you can be a better version of yourself, or appreciate the level of confidence that you do have in your life right now, knowing that you can always timeline jump to another reality just by being confident in yourself and saying, this is who I'm gonna be today, this is what I'm capable of, this is what I'm going for, and get it done. Know that you can do it, because know that it's a version out there, it's a version of you out there that would appreciate to have that level of confidence. It's a version of you out there that's way more confident than you are right now. And it's looking at you like, man, come on, bro, you better than that. We call these alternate realities, parallel realities, you know what I'm saying? So you can literally quantum leap through your consciousness, through your awareness of your capabilities of who you are, to a whole nother reality. Now, this might not make sense to a lot of people, but to those who is making sense to, man, just really appreciate who you are and your capabilities of what you possibly can do. Just know that your imagination and the way God works and the way the mind works is so complex, and it's just great. It's great. It's abundant. Just know that you are abundance, that you have abundance, that you walk in abundance. Know that in your mind that you have an abundance of things that you are capable of doing. All you gotta do is put your mind to it and focus on getting it done. So that's what my dreams taught me. So just like that, that's how powerful the mind is. I'll show you.